All right. What's good? What's good, Deuce?
What's the word, bro? What up, though?
What up, though, man? It's time for us to, finally get to talking about our Pistons off season. It's been a real active off season this summer. A lot of activities going on. But
Yeah.
first and foremost, just want to say, to the fan base, um, let's continue let's continue to be patient with this franchise. I know some guys are still a little antsy. Want to see some big trade moves and things like that. Let's just be a little bit patient with the franchise. And with that said, let's evaluate what Troy Weaver is trying to do. We getting ready to head in training camp soon, so a lot going on over the summer. So uh, let's let this man work. Let's let him work.
Right, right. And let's have fun, man. Let's have
Yeah.
fun. This is the first time in a long time where we've had realistic optimism,
Mhm.
going in with a full roster. Barring injury, we should have a lot of fun with this season, a lot of fun watching this young team grow. Um, and let's just enjoy it. I mean, I know everybody has expectations and things like that, but let's kind of just put that aside if we can a little bit and just kind of just enjoy a little bit of the fruition of what we've been kind of waiting for the last couple of years. So, I'm really looking forward to the season, bro. I think we have a lot of things that we should look forward to, and a lot of things that we can kind of focus on. A lot of different players
Yeah.
that we can kind of focus on and key in on. The last couple of years, it's been Cade, obviously, and Ivy. Obviously Duran, but now we have a whole team of guys where roles are going to be defined. Guys are going to stand out. We're going to be looking for different things. So a lot can happen. So let's just enjoy the season, man. I can't wait.
Yeah, big time, man, big time. Training camp is going to be huge,
Hmm.
huge, with some of those position battles. All
Yeah,
right, man, let's get into it. You know what I'm saying? I
do it.
mean, we hear y'all see the title.
Yeah, yeah,
um, yeah, ESPN, depth chart, pretty much the starting five. So, man, I'll put it up on the screen for us. Um, this
yeah.
is
I'll let you dive in first, bro. As far as what you think of the depth chart so far. We got, I mean, not just the starters, but the second string and the third string. It's a couple surprises to some people, but I kind of just want to get your thoughts on what the opening night projection is looking like it's going to be.
it's very interesting. ESPN, we all know. We don't look. Let's get this straight. We don't look at ESPN as being the knowledge of what's going to happen
Right.
with our team, obviously. Um, but it's interesting that they have this way. With Asar starting at three, uh,
Hmm.
that's interesting. Stu going to the bench and Boyan playing the four. Now, me personally, I'm not a fan of it. I don't like Boyan at the four. I don't. I despise Boyan playing the four. He is not a four. He's not even close to a four. He's
No.
a three.
Yep.
So, and I get it. Asar is, man, it's only gonna be so long you can keep him and hold him down on that bench, if you decide to do that in the beginning of the season. But, let the rookie earn his stripes. So
Hmm.
let him earn his stripes, let him go out there and take that position from Boyan, because we can't act like Boyan is not the veteran that he is. So I think this is definitely inaccurate when it comes to the starting five, but it's interesting. What if it did happen?
Right.
So
Right.
it's just like, and then when you look in the second and the third slots, with some of the depth that we do have on this team, me personally, Killian's still on our team. Let's address the elephant in the room, right? I always saw him as the third point guard. I always said that Sasser, to me, would have to take the position. He's the younger guy that's drafted. It's still the same rules apply to me. So you had a guy in Killian who did fill in for Cade while Cade was out, starting for the Pistons, basically out there besides Jaden Ivey and Jalen Duran.
Hmm.
He was out there with a mixture of a bunch of janitors most of the time.
Yeah.
To be honest, you know what I'm saying? So that's not easy to do. But, we'll see if the Pistons make another move. Like I said, training camp is going to be huge if we make it to that point. Um, but Sasser starting out in the G League just might be a possibility. Just might be a possibility.
Yeah, we don't know. It's hard to say.
Yeah.
Um, I kind of disagree with you. I agree with you in this aspect. I don't like Boyan at the four either. Um, but I think I really didn't like it before because that was before Duran was starting alongside in the front court of center. Last year we saw Bogey with Stu, and that was just a nightmare. That was just a nightmare.
Right.
Right. I feel a little bit better with Duran at the center spot if you're gonna have Boyan at the four, but I still don't like it. I still don't like it because we disagreed about the three, about if it was going to be Asar or Boyan at the three. So we both had established that we both saw them as threes, right?
Right.
So what we were debating was who's going to be at the three. Is it going to be Asar? Is it going to be Bogey? Because I personally want Stu at the four. I personally want Stu at the four alongside with Duran at the five. I like what I saw from him at Rico Hines with his jumper, which we'll get into later. Um, but that was kind of my issue is who's going to get that, who's going to be starting at that three spot. And I kind of don't really know how it can go in a couple different ways because I think we both agree that Bogey's not going to be here long term.
No.
Right? He's 34 years old. He's about 10 years older than just about everybody else in this roster, at least.
Yes.
Right? We understand that. So, and I understand not rushing Asar into the starting lineup. I understand it. But I also think on the other side of the spectrum, if he earns it, let him have it. You know what I'm saying? We talk about training camp battles and things
Yeah.
like that. We just talked about that. And if he's willing to go in there and show that he is a necessity defensively as a connector in that starting lineup, I say by all means you start him and let him figure it out. It's not like we're contending anyway. Let them. We said this last year. Let guys figure it out. Let guys kind of earn their stripes. Let them go through those growing pains. So I don't see why that would change now a year later when we're finally having all these young guys together. You know what I mean? So I wouldn't mind Asar at the three starting night, opening night. If he shows, because we saw Rico Hines, and we'll get into it later, but we saw just how much of a nightmare and an annoyance he is to guys. He was making Cam Reddish look like he had no offensive bag at all. He had clamps on that guy. Even he had a couple guys he was doing that too. And it
Wow.
was just like, yeah, Powell. Powell couldn't really get a shot off. He got one shot off on him, I think, and it's kind of a lucky shot. I ain't gonna lie to you. I think sorry, she got a hand on the shot and it still went in. So that's kind of my thing. I would rather have Asara at the three, Stu at the four, and Duran at the five. Because even Stu, we talked about Stu last year. He was one of the best bigs who was able to move his feet on that perimeter. So I don't really think you're losing much. If you start a Bogey at the four, right? Because I'm looking at offense and defense. You lose more defensively, in my opinion, with Bogey starting than you gain. You see what I'm saying with Stu? Like Stu is not going to get worse offensively, but we know Bogey over time is going to get worse defensively. And since that's one of the most important things, we talk about spacing and defense are the two most important things in this, for us, especially as a young team. So to me, defense comes first, always,
Yeah.
always. So we know Stu is a much better defender, and having him with Duran in that starting in that front court to me just makes more sense if he can continue to bring that physicality, and if he can continue to knock down that three ball at a consistent level, not Bogey level, because we know Bogey's one of the best shooters in the league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
But if he can keep the defense honest, create a little bit of gravity, create a little bit of spacing just to keep teams honest. That's my starting five: K, Ivy, Asar, Stu, and Duran.
Yeah. That and I can get with that. I can definitely get with that. But from an NBA standpoint, our dreams, it's not gonna happen. So
Talk about it.
Boyan is not going to the bench unless he's just absolutely. I mean, so it just if training camp and preseason is just like, man, it's nothing else we can do. We got to. That's just not gonna happen. It's hard for me to say that that's gonna happen.
I got you. I
You
got
know
you.
what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So with Asar, we okay. We got to look at it this way. We're crossing over from one type of coach to a different type in Monty Williams. Dwayne Casey was live by the three, die by the three. We're gonna shoot 8,063,000 threes a game. That's what it was. We didn't play defense whatsoever. But then you look at a Monty Williams who values defense, values sharing the basketball, values spacing the floor. So just from Monty Williams alone, I think Asar definitely can find himself in that starting lineup before the trade deadline, before the second half of the season. But I still think there's going to be a lot of learning for Asar when it comes to the NBA talent and speed.
Mhm.
One thing to be in a gym and be able to defend certain guys, but we talking about the likes of starters on a nightly basis.
Right.
So when you have a guy in a veteran in Boyan, you have a guy in Stu, which is pretty much a veteran now. Um, it's going to be hard for me to see Asar starting over those two guys.
I
That's
get
why
it.
I have him on the bench. You know what I'm saying? So,
Yeah.
um, but another thing noted, Asar is lengthy enough to switch and play for defensively at moments. So his versatility is definitely going to benefit him a lot. It's going to keep him on the floor a little bit more than we probably expect.
Mhm.
Um, you got to have that guy that can defend those taller wings, man. Just wings in general, and that's what
Right.
he is. He's the anti to Boyan, which we know Boyan can't check a box on a sheet of paper.
Right.
Let's just be real about it. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? The
Yeah.
interesting name on this list to me is Isaiah Livers.
Hmm.
Livers is a guy that I think we all like. We all love Livers. You know what I'm saying? We go out and get a Joe Harris. So, him finding minutes is going to be interesting to me,
Yeah.
especially with the addition of Asar because
Right.
of the positioning. So that's another thing to keep an eye on. Will he be able to find some relief if they move on from Boyan by mid season, which we all think they will? Then maybe that helps. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
I think Livers is honestly a little bit slept on.
Yeah.
The same way Kate was a little bit slept on due to injury. You
Right.
know, Livers is really the only wing we have that is a great shooter and an above average defender. He's the only wing at this because as we know Asar is already, in my opinion, going to be an above average defender, not a great shooter.
Yeah.
Bogey on the other side is a great shooter, but a below average defender. Livers is the only guy that has a little bit of both.
Right.
We know he doesn't require the ball. So I wouldn't mind seeing him in that second unit. I really wouldn't because he kind of brings a little bit of what we're looking for on both sides of the ball. We know he's a team player. He's not going to pound the basketball. He knows how to, he knows how to move without the ball. He's a smart player. If he can stay healthy for a full season, I think he really can surprise a lot of guys, man. Like he's a smart player. He knows how to play winning basketball. We know that much. We saw that at Michigan. So I wouldn't. I think people are sleeping on Livers. I really do.
Yeah. And you know what? Another name that could be possibly gone during that trade deadline time is Alec Burks.
Yeah,
He's another one, that a lot of people don't. We always talk about Boyan, but a lot of people don't talk about Burks either.
that's
You know what I'm
true.
saying? That's another one that could be moving on during, that period. So uh, when you look at the second and third, um, in line when we look at the center, Wiseman Bagley, these two, what I'm
Yeah,
saying? So we know that Troy has always had a man crush on Wiseman,
yeah.
but he did, pay Bagley. So
Facts.
both of those guys as the backup fives. Who wins that battle?
Um, I want to say neither because I honestly think we need someone who's better than both of them. To be honest, right? But this is the hand we're dealt right now, right? We
You're
haven't
right.
made any moves yet. So to answer your question, I think right now Bagley is probably slightly ahead of Wiseman, but I think that's only because he's been playing more. He's had more playing time. He's had more opportunities, and that's kind of why I'm leaning more so towards Wiseman because we knew he didn't get much run in Golden State. He wasn't on a time frame. We understand that. And when he got here, he was still kind of trying to find his way without a fully stacked team, without a fully healthy team. So for them to be kind of in the same place, and for Wiseman to have significant amount of less of playing time and opportunity, I think Wiseman needs to be given that opportunity. We know what Bagley is. I don't think Bagley is going to get much better as a basketball. I just don't. I think we've seen who Bagley is going to be throughout the duration of his career. I don't think he's, I hate to say it, but I don't think he's going to become a better defender. I just don't. I just don't think is there. I think Wiseman has the measurables to be a good defender. I think he fits better with what we're trying to do. I don't think either one of them really have that physicality, that dog though, that I want to see from my big on the defensive end. It kind of seems like both of them kind of shy away from physicality, and I don't like that at all. So if it was me, if I had to flip a coin, I would say it would be Wiseman. But I mean, I wouldn't be surprised if it was Bagley. I just think Wiseman has more upside, and given the opportunity, I think he would show it. What you think?
Not a fan of either.
Right.
I'm just being 100, bro. I don't like bigs. That's not big.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? This finesse sitting around want to shoot jump shots. Wiseman keep saying that, I always used to, watch film and want to be KD. Bro, you ain't KD. You're a 7-footer. Get your ass on the box.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So if it was up to me, one of those two can go in the part of a trade deal. I'd rather have Drummond as a backup center. That's
would too.
where I'm at. You know what I'm saying? I
would
want
too.
somebody that's just big. You know what I'm saying? That's going to make a guard think twice about coming to the basket. And when you see those two, bro, we talking about a guy in Kyle Lowry that body Wiseman. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, nah,
Yeah.
I can't have
Unacceptable.
that. You know what I'm saying? Your entire summer was spent on improving your jump shot and playing like a guard. I
Mhm.
needed you to get stronger. I needed you to get, a stronger core. You know what I'm saying? So
Mhm.
you're playing against bigs. You're not playing against guards. You're playing against bigs, man. We out here, now listen, we went to games last season.
Mhm.
Jokic, Vucevic,
Uh.
all the itches came in here and got off, bro. I don't want to
Yeah.
see that. I don't want to see that. We
Yeah.
had, Stu has never been a 5. He's always
Mhm.
been a 4. So now you just left with Durant. We need somebody to help shoulder the load defensively with Durant.
Yep.
You know, you Stu at the 4, defending 4s is better for him by him being undersized. But
Mhm.
we need somebody that can come in and take the mantle and say, hey, okay, I'm going to protect the basket, protect the rim.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And be a true live threat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Where, Bagley is a little bit higher when it comes to being a live threat. That's just the way, that's what we saw with him and Cade.
There you
That's
go.
what we
And
saw. I'll say that.
that's the key, bro.
That
Because Wiseman didn't play with
that
Cade at all
right,
last
right,
year at all. So
right.
like, and I think, and this is no shade at Bagley. I think Bagley is a good player. There's no shade at him, but I think it it made it easy to get excited and to possibly maybe overvalue him
Mm-hmm.
when we saw him with Cade, because that was the only lob threat we had on the roster when they played together. There was no Wiseman. We know Stu's not much of a lob threat. Who else was there? Right? We haven't seen Cade even with a Wiseman. We haven't seen how that dynamic looks. We haven't seen Cade. We saw Cade, I think, like 4 or 5 games with Duran. So I think when we see how good they're going to be together, when we see how easy Cade makes the game for our bigs, for Stu, and especially for Duran, I think it's going to kind of make us have more of a realistic look or view of Bagley when it comes to, oh, he's a great lobster. Oh, he's exactly what we need for Cade. Oh, he's this, he's that. No, Cade is just that good at making other bigs look good. So when
Yeah,
we have a big that is suited for this team on another level, I think we're gonna look at those guys a little bit different. Like, yeah, they're good, but we see this is more. That was more so Cade than it was the big.
right.
You know what I'm saying?
And you see, and this is a great point. 7 Mile B. It's Bagley should not be playing 5 if you ask me.
No,
He's a
no.
4, flat out,
Mm.
flat out. He's a 4, and that's a better position for me if you want to have him playing in a backup role. It's at 4. He's not a
Right.
5 whatsoever. When we talking about Wiseman, that's a different story. 7'1", you're a 5. You
Right.
need to play 5 style basketball.
Right.
So I know, stretching the floor to me, I'm not a person that listens to media and what the NBA tries to sell you. The fool always listens to what the seller is selling. You
Yeah.
can't sell me that. No big in this league shot 40% from 3 last season. So this big stretching the floor thing, it's not guys out there knocking down 5 threes a game at the 5. I
Yeah.
want my 5 to be able to stretch the floor at times and shoot a couple of threes here and there, maybe 2 a game, maybe.
Mm-hmm.
But I need you to play like a big, period. Because it's a complete and utter freaking myth. It
Point
really
blank.
is. It really is. So,
Yep.
uh, yeah,
I agree.
if we do make a move, man, one of those two, I probably end up packaging in a deal and trying to bring somebody in here that fits more that type of role. We just need it. We need it.
Is there a guy on your radar um, that you would like to have in that spot
That's the
that we
tough
just talked
part.
about?
And
Anybody
yeah,
stand out to you?
man. I mean, there's guys that I love. I really wish that the trade would have went through with a guy like Bobo.
Mm,
Saying somebody who can play on the offensive end, but at the same time, his length allows him to block shots like crazy.
right.
You know what I'm saying? So you don't have to be the biggest, stockiest dude if you can block shots. But that's just what it was with Wiseman. Wiseman was just getting bodied. You know what I'm saying? A lot. If a guy hit him with a shiver, he's curling. A guy like Bobo is long enough to where, hey, you ain't got to be all up on me. I can let you do whatever you want to. But as soon as that shot go up, I'm long enough to block it. You know what I'm saying? Those type of long, lengthy type of guys. But at the same time, he's agile on offense. So, I mean, man, um, I just want something. I just want something down there that can defend the basket. That's it.
Yeah, I like what Mr. Jones. It's funny. I saw a few people mention this earlier. Laurie Markkinen. We're not gonna get him, but that's the kind of guy I would like to see.
Yeah.
That's the kind of guy I would love to have on his roster. Somebody who's not a below average defender, somebody who can get a bucket, somebody who can score, somebody who can stretch the floor. That kind of guy is what I would love to have. Or Mr. Jones, yeah, or he's okay. So he said Christian Wood too, right? Christian Wood. The fact that nobody is picking him up right now has me worried about his mentality, about his drive, about what he cares about, because he doesn't seem. I don't know what it is. I don't have any inside information, or anything like that.
Yeah.
But teams aren't even looking his way,
You know,
and that concerns me.
Christian to me is one of them guys that oversell himself. He
Mm-hmm.
oversells himself. You know what I'm saying? He believes in himself a little bit too much. And that kind of shies teams away. Like, bro, this dude here is,
Yep.
because I mean, I w- I'm not gonna sit here and act like I didn't love Christian Wood when he was here in a Pistons jersey. I did. I wanted
Yeah, I
him to
did
stay
too.
around. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? But all the prima donna stuff, man, all of the other extra stuff is just like, come on, bro.
I think
So
part of it, bro, is like because it's nothing wrong with having a chip on your shoulder, but sometimes that can work against you if that chip is too big. And I think a big part of it for him is that he has such a huge chip on his shoulder draft night. We all know what happened to him on draft night. The whole thing, he was sitting there waiting, 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 waiting. Nothing happened. His girl left him or called it quits after that when he didn't get drafted and all that, and it was just a whole mess. He talked about it, how that really affected him. I think it kind of made him go the other way though. Like the chip was too big, but like, no, I'm that guy. I'm him. I'm that dude. And
mhm,
he's a good player, but you're not a franchise player, bro.
right.
And I think he kind of got a little bit of a big head, and that kind of turned teams off.
Yeah. Yeah. Like I said, man, you in this league, some people just overvalue themselves too much. like you look at the situation where I lost a guy. I lost a guy that I really liked. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And according to the rumors of why we moved on to from him, I think his agent was valuing him a little too high.
Hmm.
But you look in the guy as Sadiq Bey. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So you look at that situation. Like you see some guys they overvalue themselves a little bit too much. When your circle is not telling you what you need to hear, those are the type of things that can happen. And they
Yeah.
constantly pumping your head up and making you think that you're a little bit more than what you are. You can definitely harm yourself. I'll just say that.
Agreed.
Yeah,
Agreed.
yeah.
Yeah.
So
Absolutely. Yeah. So we'll see, man.
yeah,
One more name I'm gonna throw out there. Shout out to Nerdy Life Chris. Shout out to, by the way, Carl Collins in the stream. Shout out to you, bro. Um, that's the goat of that's the Steven
man.
Spielberg of what we're doing here in this industry, as far as I'm concerned. Lions is fooling for not signing that man. Anyway, that's a whole nother story.
I'm just saying.
Um, right? I am just throw it out there. Anyway, Nerd like Chris said Pascal Siakam. That to me is the perfect fit if we were gonna get a guy. I mean, he's on a huge contract, so it's probably not gonna happen.
Mhm.
Or he's getting either he is or he's getting one. Either way, it's too big of a contract. Right? But Pascal Siakam to me would be a perfect fit for this team with the four next to Duran. To me, he
Yeah,
gives you everything of what you're looking for defensively, offensively. He's kind of like, I mean, his build to me is similar to Asar. He's just a little bit bigger. Measurables are crazy. 7 foot plus wingspan, moves his feet well, great defender, can shoot the ball, just does everything. That to me would be the perfect fit for this team. Maybe not right now because we're not ready to make that jump,
right.
but that's the kind of guy. That's my prototypical four to pair alongside with a guy like Jalen Duren and Asar Thompson. That's to me, that's just the fit. But ain't gonna happen. That's just I want to throw that idea out there too. Shout out to you, Nerd like Chris.
Yeah, man. I say hey, it's definitely some names out there that we can definitely take a look at. We got a season of evaluation at the same time right now, and this is
Right.
actually going to be the real evaluation because we have numero uno back, which is
Mm-hmm.
Cade. So with him being out there, it gives us a real look of what the team could be. You know what
Right,
I'm saying?
man.
So,
I'm so glad that he's back, bro. I mean, not even for us, but just for him.
yeah,
Like just for him, I can't imagine what that's like having to sit out a year as a number one pick,
right.
having to sit out after having the type of year that he had. Everybody was expecting him to make that crazy jump or just a jump in general. We were all looking for it. It was
Hmm.
out of his control. It's crazy that he still played as well as he did, considering all the pain that he was in.
Right.
You're gonna be at that long, you obviously going through something.
Yeah.
So I'm happy for him. I'm happy for him. I'm happy for his camp. Just that he's gonna get a chance to really. And just one quick little segue that I want to get to, because people are overlooking Cade Cunningham, and it's really getting on my nerves. It's really ticking me off. And to me, I think he's going to wake everybody up the same way that I've told you before,
Hmm.
Jamal Murray woke
Yeah.
everybody up. Jamal
Yeah.
Murray was a guy that came out of Kentucky into the league first couple years and played great. Played great, man. And you really saw it in that bubble season when they played the Lakers, when they were AD 3-point buzzer beater away from possibly getting to the NBA Finals that
Right.
series. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? He played amazing. He was going at LeBron,
Yeah.
going to the right, finishing over LeBron. Like just, it was
He
incredible to
was
see,
wait,
man.
what he was doing what?
Yeah, I said it. The goat, in my opinion.
Hey,
And you
say it
said that's
again.
that's for another day. I mean, he did do it over 45-year-old LeBron too. So let's not get that twisted. But the fact that I'm talking about him doing it over LeBron at that age shows how good of a player LeBron still is. But anyway, I digress.
God.
Um, but seriously, people forgot about him after he got hurt.
Yeah.
They said he
Yep.
was overrated. They said that they was calling what Bubble Jamal or Bubble Murray, whatever
Mhm.
you want to call it, like it was a fluke,
Yep.
like it was. And to me, that's just crazy. And
Yep.
now after last season when he came back, because he was out for over a year,
Hmm.
year and a half, he was out with that injury, with that leg injury. Came back and reminded everybody of who he was. Not, it wasn't like he took this huge jump. It was
Right.
always there. And I think we're gonna see that with Cade Cunningham this year and
Right.
going forward. I think we're going to see. We all know we're gonna be like, yeah, He's been doing this. This is who he's been since he was at Oklahoma State. This is who he is.
Right.
But I think a lot of people around the league who forgot about him, they're gonna have a rude awakening because he's gonna remind everybody of who he is and who he's always been. So that's what I'm looking for him this season.
All right. So with that said, man,
Yeah,
let's take a look into the second half of this stream, man.
let's do it.
Rico Hines. Rico Hines, man.
Woo!
Rico Hines is something that I've been following for years, man. And now it's hot. Now social media has caught a wind of it, and now everybody's thirsting for it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we were thirsting for a while for the Pistons, and we finally got some footage.
Yes.
And it was some very, very good footage.
Yeah.
Rico Hines. Let's start with Cade. Smooth, jump shot looking clean, just looking like that guy, looking like one of those the best players on the court. You know what I'm saying? So to see him be able to operate and look that smooth out there, the flow of him and his offense, him and his offense, his teammates, Jalen Duran out there with the connections, stuff like that. That's what you're looking for. That's what you're looking for. You're looking at Rico Hines is the run that you want to see guys play during the offseason. Other
Right.
NBA talent locked in the gym, and they taking it serious. You know what I'm saying? They really out there trying to get better.
Yeah.
And that's what you want to see, man. So what did you think?
Man, so you mentioned Cade. Let's start with Cade. I made a poll on my YouTube channel about out of the 5 guys that we saw on the floor for the Pistons, who was everybody the most impressed with. And I was surprised that everybody, for the most, I think 70% said Cade. I was surprised by that because I thought that everybody already knew what Cade was. I wasn't impressed with it. I was only impressed with it from the aspect that, okay, he's back. He's healthy. Only from a health standpoint. But from a playmaking standpoint, from his game, I wasn't impressed. It just looked like Cade. And honestly, if you watch, he wasn't even going full tilt, bro.
No, he was taking it easy.
He was taking it easy, bro. I think once Bones Highland stole it from him and said, "Give me that." I think if you go back and watch, you can see K got irritated. Okay,
yeah,
all right, for real. That's what you think this is? Okay, and he started going to work. He said, "Forget this. I'm not doing it."
I'm glad you brought that up because this comment came up, and I was like, "Listen, you got to understand, man. K was out there walking the ball, like, bro. This ain't. You had a season." A rookie season of seeing K with the basketball. He's fine with the basketball, bro. That's not an issue at all.
Right. Mm-mm. Not at all. So yeah, K didn't impress me, and that's no shade at all. It's like it's the opposite. It's like he is who we thought he is. He is who we thought he was going to be. So that doesn't surprise me at all. What about you as far as K?
Same thing, man. Same thing. Just like I said, just looked smooth. Just went out there and did his thing. You know what I'm saying? I say it's not like they out there trying to really, like go at it like they're in a game situation.
Mm-hmm.
They're out there truly putting in work. You know what I'm saying? It's the difference between work and actual game, right?
Yeah.
They're going out there to put in work to get better. For Cade, it was getting better chemistry with his teammates.
There you go.
That's what it is with Cade.
There you go.
You ain't got to worry about the game. He's probably the hardest worker on the squad. You know what I'm saying? He lives in the gym. He's going to put the work in. You don't have to worry about that. Going out there getting the chemistry with his teammates is what I was looking for.
Right.
And that's what I saw. You know what I'm saying? Getting a chance to play with these guys and elevate them, help them elevate. Duran was, man, he was getting love from everybody.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
They was, man, Duran was having a great time out there because between K, Ivy, and Asar, he was getting some love out there. So that's
so let's you mentioned Duran, and I don't want to get out of order, but you mentioned it. So let's go to Duran next, right?
Yep.
And this goes back to my point about Bagley and Cade. Again, Duran he may have had more highlights than any other Piston because he was getting dunk after dunk after dunk and guess who was setting him up? Cade Cunningham. And that's my point. It's like we saw Bagley with Cade and thought he was the next Shaq.
The
But when you
big
see him,
the big man is
man,
dead though. That's
oh
what they
yeah,
said.
yeah,
That's what
that's
the
what they
media
said.
tell everybody. The big man is dead.
That's what they said. We're gonna have some zombies running around here then pretty soon, if that's what you think. Because nah, man, like he had so many easy buckets. It was ridiculous the way he was getting set up. He was eating, and we're gonna that's what we're gonna see this season. Pick and roll is gonna be Cade and Duran, and the fast break is gonna be Ivy and Asar. Those are the two things I want to see this season because their games fit each other perfectly.
Yes.
So I don't want to get too off task as far as I'm going to order with the guards and all that, but I just want to point that out. Duran is going to eat this season. His plate is always going to be stacked with food because he's going to be getting spoon fed so many easy buckets, man. So anyway, okay, so we talked about Ivy. What were your thoughts on Ivy?
Ivy, a little bit mixed with Ivy. Ivy in the pro AM was dominant. You know what I'm saying? In this gym, I felt like they challenged him a little bit when it comes to ball handling. Something I want to see him continue to work on and get a little bit better. But at the same time, the athleticism is something that's going to make things a lot easier for him when he's running the floor. I like Ivy running the floor, me personally. It frees him up. It makes him unguardable simply because of that athleticism.
Yep.
So you've seen like little pesky guys trying to poke at the ball and things like that, which get frustrated him is, the same. It's just the same. But like I said, it's gym ball. Right. So I'm not going to read too much into that. Once we get into training camp, once we get into, preseason, then I'll say, okay, now I see what he worked on this summer and things like that. You know what I'm saying? We didn't really get an opportunity to see him shoot too many jump shots. We were limited when it comes to the clips. Right. So, from what I saw, I was pretty cool with that.
I was too. I think Ivy is going through an adjustment period, because he's used to having the ball in his hands.
Right.
And we expected his first season to be that of getting adjusted to not having the ball in his hands as much because we thought Cade was going to be there the whole season. Right. But we saw he still had to have the ball in his hands because Cade went down at the beginning of the year. So this is an adjustment period for him. He needs to learn. And you saw in the Rico Hines run, the ball was predominantly in Cade's hands.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's going to be what happens. And I think that's what needs to happen when the season starts. Right. I think we all agree on that. Yeah. I think Ivy he's pressing a little bit. I think he's pressing a little bit. He needs to just take his time and let the game come to him and use his team. He has a team now. He has options now. He has weapons around him. There was one time I think where I saw a play where someone said, swing it. And he pushed it to the basket. And I don't think he converted on that one. So it's just going to take him time, but I definitely think it can work. Like you think about this. When you think about Cade and Ivy, think about Chris Paul, a bigger Chris Paul, playing with a Russell Westbrook who can shoot better than Russell Westbrook.
Right.
That's what I envision long term for this team. Russ is not a great shooter, not a great decision maker, but he played point guard. He didn't have a Chris Paul type of guard to orchestrate the offense to put him in the best spots to be successful. So he would often have to force it. I think as they continue to play more and more together, Ivy's going to get better and better because the load is not going to be on him as I think he is used to it being. And that's going to make life so much easier for him. And his jumper looked pretty good, man.
Yeah.
His jumper looked pretty good. I'm not saying he's a dead-eye shooter yet. He may not ever be a dead-eye shooter. Probably not, and that's okay. But he was knocking it down when he was open.
Right.
More times than not. So if he can clearly understand what his role is going to be and not feel like he has to always be the one to make the play, I think he's going to be just fine because he has all the tools there.
So Ivy's in a better situation this season. You look at last season with him and Killian playing a 1 and 2. You have to understand that those guys were not able to get to the basketball rim as they should have been. And that was simply because of the personnel that was out there on the floor.
Facts.
Well, this season, it opens up things where Ivy should be able to get through more lanes and get to the basket on a regular. And it's going to help him out a whole lot where he'll be able to attack from multiple angles, man. Because like I said, when a big doesn't have to commit to nobody and you're just sitting roaming around in that paint, it makes everything's harder for guards, and we've seen that all
Yeah.
last season. So with our roster being healthy now, with Cade on the floor, but along with everybody else being on the floor and available, it's gonna make things a lot easier. Which is, I think, that's where Ivy will say, okay, I can pick my spots. I
Yep.
can take my time. I don't have to try to force it. You know what I'm
Right.
saying? I don't have to force this. So
Right.
that's where it gets better for him. Now, him being a rim runner, him
Hmm.
being a slasher is one thing. Well, then we look at another guy who's also a runner, a fast break guy, long, lengthy, athletic, Asar.
Yes.
Asar, man, is going to be able. And one thing that we all as a fan base complained about last season was the fact that the Pistons did not run enough.
Yeah.
They did not
Exactly.
play fast enough. So now you have that option. You
Hmm.
have that option, man. So, like I said, it's going to open up things, especially for a rookie and a SAR to go out there and help him flourish in what he's good at. So,
Right.
Asar at Rico Hines,
Man.
the most impressive at
By
Rico
far.
Hines by far. By
By
far,
far.
defense
Yeah.
was ridiculous, right?
And
But not only
yeah.
that,
Go ahead. Talk it.
the playmaking,
There you go.
the playmaking. Like I said, he was feeding Durant. He was doing everything. And these are the players that I love. I cherish these
Yes.
players, bro. People, they wonder why I always go so hard for Kelly. It's the fact that I think people they value the 3-point shot too much. They don't realize that there are so many other things that you can do to help your team be successful. You don't have to have a starting five of all shooters. A guy with like a SAR on the floor is a prime example of that. He doesn't have to go out there and shoot 40% from three,
Right.
but he can
Thank
kill
you.
you in multiple other
That's my
categories
point.
to
That's my
help
point.
his team win.
That's my point.
Period.
Yep.
Period, man. So
Yep.
that's what I like I said, I despise a lot of these fans these days because they buy what the NBA sells them and they started believing in that. And like I said, Asar is gonna be just fine. He's gonna be just fine.
Yeah.
Whether he turns into a 38% shooter or whatever it is, his game alone, he'll be just fine. And
Yeah,
he's gonna
bro.
be
I mean,
a very valuable piece to this team.
bro, yeah, like so many plays we saw where Asar is going to create so many easy buckets. So many easy buckets.
Yep.
Based just off and he's gonna help Ivy as a result. Those are the two fastest players in our team.
Yeah.
Probably two of the fastest players in the league, to be honest.
Right.
Right? So those two together, I see Ivy. It was so many times Asar would get a steal or a block, and guess who's running the break already? As the ball is in the air, and Ivy's already down the other end, getting the dunk, getting the layup. So I think those two together are going to make the game easier for each other. Just being on the floor together, and I think Asar is going to, as crazy as it sounds, he's going to bring or kind of reinforce that defensive culture, that defensive want to as a rookie. When you got a rookie coming in playing that hard defensively, it holds you accountable.
Yeah.
Like, oh, he's coming in playing tough. We gotta strap up and do the same thing now. I think he's that guy that's gonna do it for us. I couldn't be more excited about his game, man. Like you said, he does a little bit of everything. You can't just say what's his greatest skill. You know what I'm saying? Like other guys, you could say the greatest skill is
Well,
this,
it's
greatest
this
skill
or
is
that.
that.
Asar is just like he's good
He's
at
a
a lot of
basketball player,
things.
man.
Right.
Yeah, he's
Right.
just a hooper. You could say it's his motor. You could say it's his defense. You could say it's his playmaking. You could say a lot of different things for him. So that's why, and he's a rookie, bro. He hasn't stepped foot in the NBA floor in the NBA yet.
Mhm.
So he's gonna be scary, man. Like I was by far and away, he was the most impressive. Also because this was the first time we saw him playing with the core Pistons, the
Mhm.
core guys. What K didn't play in summer league. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? Like so, seeing him how he meshed with them, kind of seamlessly off rip, man. Give him a season.
Yeah.
Give these guys a season, and it's gonna be a lot of fun for us for a long time.
You know what? I got to give a little bit more applause to Troy Weaver for putting a team together of a
True that.
bunch of guys that's willing to share. You know what I'm saying? Because you do have those issues on some teams where some backcourts just ain't gonna work out, or this player wants the ball more. Well, all these guys are willing passers. You know what I'm
Yeah,
saying? And the versatility of this team is definitely gonna show. Um, I got to talk about Stu.
yeah,
Um,
yeah.
Man, everything is pretty much based on his ability to knock down a 3-point shot at least at 35%.
35, 36. Yep.
Yeah, somewhere around there. That's what's going to help him out a lot. And it's going to help the offense out a lot when it comes to floor spacing and everything else.
Yep.
Stu's going to put work in regardless. He's a guy that if you say he can't do something, he's gonna, I
Yeah.
mean, be hell bent on proving that
Stubborn.
he can.
Very stubborn.
That is the most Piston type of mentality that you can have right there. You
Right.
know what I'm saying? So that's why I love Isaiah Stewart, and I expect him, and he's my dark horse Piston this year to be one of the most
Mm.
improved out of everybody.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm
Yeah, I
saying?
like that.
Yeah, he's
I
my
like that, bro.
guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think he's definitely gonna make a lot of people say, well, wow. You know what I'm saying? I didn't expect him to get that good. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Right.
Because, like I said, just looking at his mechanics, shooting jump shots, his mechanics are perfect.
They look great.
They're
They look
perfect.
great. Yeah.
He
His
don't have this
balance.
wonky
Yeah.
jump shot. Bro, the mechanics are perfect.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
he's gonna do what he can on the block. He's gonna try to out rebound you. He's gonna try to out hustle you. Period. You ain't got to worry about none of that. Now focusing on that jump shot over the summer, getting that together, man. That's gonna make everything better for Stu and his teammates. And
Yeah.
I'm looking forward to seeing that too.
Yeah. Stu was one of those guys, man. He doesn't have the high ceiling, but you can bet he's going to get as close to that ceiling as possible. It's a
Right.
lot of guys that have a high ceiling, but they'll
Mhm.
never come anywhere near it because the
Right.
work ethic ain't there. He's going to work on his game every single game, every single day. And it's going to be, you're going to see it kind of put on display year over year because he continues to work and work and work. So he may end up being better than a lot of guys who are more talented than him
Yep.
because he's going to maximize his ability. His ceiling is here. Guys, other guys' ceiling is here, but they don't reach it. But he's getting as close to that ceiling as possible because he works. And that's why I think he's gonna be here. I could see him being here for his whole career. I really
Yeah.
could, because
Yeah.
he has a mentality, and maybe not as a starter. I'm not saying he's going to start every single year, but I
Mhm.
think he's going to be a part of this team as he gets older, as a Udonis Haslam type of guy who has that. You know, it's about heat culture. Udonis Haslam is heat culture.
Mhm.
I think Stu is going to be Detroit culture for his whole
Yeah.
career because he's going to continue to embody what we are.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely, man. Like I said, every player on your team does not have to be a future superstar. You know what I'm saying? You
Right,
don't need 10 superstars to win an NBA championship.
right,
Ask the Denver Nuggets. You know what I'm saying?
bro.
I say all the time, and I say this and I stand on this. Jokic is the greatest, most basic player I ever seen in my life.
Mm-hmm,
Jokic does nothing fancy. He does nothing out of the ordinary.
mm-hmm,
He plays high IQ basketball.
right.
He's not super athletic. He's not better than your most athletic center when it comes to that athleticism.
Nah, nah,
He
nah.
outsmarts them. You know what he
Yep.
does? If I get the ball on the block and I draw attention, well, guess what? I'm going to hit my teammates. That is
Mm-hmm.
the most basic basketball thing that you can do.
Yeah,
Period, man. Period.
yeah,
He's just smart. And that's what Tim Duncan was. That's what
right.
you can go down the list and name these type of players.
Yeah,
So everybody doesn't have to be flashy or highlight real player. Remember, it was a couple drafts back, athleticism. That's all you hear people talking about, athleticism. How many athletes were sitting their asses on the couch watching the playoffs with us
yeah.
last?
Facts, facts, bro.
When
And
it
like,
comes to basketball, I want this.
I want, yeah. And you,
I
you
want
look,
this.
you mentioned Denver and how they don't have a bunch of stars, bro. I'll take it another level. Look at the national team. Gone are the days of the dream team when all you have are the best players on one team and let's make it work.
Yep.
When I saw Tayshaun Prince, I think it was back in 2008 on that Olympic team. Tayshaun wasn't one of the best wings in the league, but he was on that team because he knew how to play basketball, team
Mm-hmm.
basketball. You look at this team now; they don't have a bunch of stars. You got Mikal Bridges, great players,
Mm-hmm.
right? But they're not the top tier level players. So even on that team, they're putting a team together. It's not always on a team where you would think the stars would be. They're not even there. They're not even there. So why are we worried about having 5 stars in our starting lineup? We need a team. That's what
That
the Detroit Pistons are.
that's what we are. That's
Yeah.
that's what we are. You know what I'm saying? And when I was so happy to see, Denver go ahead and get it done because that's
Yep.
the type of team that they had. You know what I'm saying? And seeing guys out there that's not the greatest knockdown 3-point shooter and Bruce Brown. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
Seeing guys that's not the most consistent 3-point shooter. You know what I'm saying? So him, Gatavius Caldwell Pope, Reggie Jackson in his actual role.
Yeah.
All these ex-Pistons on this team, man, now got a fat ring on their finger. You know
That's
why?
right.
Because they played on a team in a culture that play for each other.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? We're not advertising just this guy, give him the ball 800 a million 3 times a game. Listen, Jokic is a guy that understands himself that, hey, if I'm in a tough matchup, I'm going to make sure all of my teammates flourish. So when
Right.
he has tough games, guess what? You got a guard, what I'm saying, of all-star ability that can
Mhm.
take over for you. You got
Right.
guys on the wing, what I'm saying, that can do what they need to do.
Mhm.
So I like that. That's the roadmap to victory in this
That's
league, the
it.
real roadmap. I think Golden State messed a lot of people's heads up. I think they messed a
Yeah.
lot of people's heads up when it comes to basketball.
That's an anomaly.
You know what I'm saying?
That's an anomaly.
That's man. You
That's
can't
not
beat Golden State,
your ordinary. Yeah. That's not your ordinary team. There's only one Steph Curry. Is probably ever going to be one Steph Curry.
man.
And Clay Thompson. You're never going to see a backcourt like that again. I don't think. So all these teams trying to model their game after that, when they don't have that on their roster, was like you said, it kind of ruined a lot of teams because they like the blueprint. It works if you have the talent there, but if you don't, it's just not going to work.
Yep.
So we saw how Denver ran through the West last year, including my
Mhm.
beloved Lakers, who couldn't even get a game. Right?
Yeah.
I mean, Miami got one game. They shouldn't have got that one. Denver fell asleep. They
Yeah.
were the best team, and everybody knew it. Everybody knew it. So
Yeah.
I think that's kind of where the league is going now, and I love to see it because it's not just the star laden, big four, or big three, or whatever. It's team basketball.
The league is going back to where it is supposed to be.
That's right.
You know what I'm saying? Where it's supposed to be, man. So, with our team and the way that this team is built, um, it's definitely the right time to
Mhm.
have the guys that we have on this roster, because we're the future.
Yeah.
The Detroit Pistons are the future. And you look at the age difference of this team and some of the teams that we just seen in the playoffs last year.
Mhm.
Um, we still got some work to do.
Yeah.
We still got some work to do. We
Sure.
still got a couple years before we really in that conversation to saying, hey, it's time to contend for a championship.
Right.
So we still got work to do.
Agreed.
And
Agreed.
I'm here for the ride. I'm here for
Yeah,
the ride.
man.
You can't
Last
push that
question.
forward. Yeah.
I just wanted to see what you thought about this question here from Marvin. Kawhi Prime or a star upside? What you taking? I'm honestly, you may call me crazy, but I'm taking a star upside because Kawhi can't stay healthy. Kawhi can't stay healthy. If you're taking health out of the equation, that's a different story. But Kawhi hasn't played a full season in I don't know how long. Probably since Zaza slid up under his foot. You know what
Right.
I'm saying? So I think they are very similar players, though. I think they're very similar players. I think Asar is probably going to be more of a playmaker, though. Kawhi is a lot of a ISO type of mid-range
That's what
sniper,
he is.
physical player. That's his game.
That's what he is.
Asar is going to be running the floor, diving on the floor, making plays for others, easy buckets. I see more of a Scottie Pippen-ish type build for Asar than a Kawhi. Kawhi is a big, strong, physical specimen, and I think Asar is a little bit different. I think he's a little bit more rangy, a little more
So
flexible. What do you think?
Sir, like that that those players like Iguodala,
Iguodala.
Draymond. Draymond, even though he was able to stretch the floor a little, he's not a great 3-point shooter.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But guess what? He does a whole lot of other things great, which
Right.
is distribute the basketball when he needs to, play defense, be a pest. You know what I'm
And he
saying?
plays for others.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he plays for others, man. Ron Artest is another good example.
That's another good
King
one.
Yehuda. That is another one. Those
Yeah.
type of guys, the guys that you have to win.
Thank you.
You know what I'm saying? I just talked about Bruce Brown.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Him,
Man, what's you
Contavious
say?
Caldwell Pope. I just talked about some of these guys, man. They got to be scrappy. That's willing to run the floor and do
Right.
things that certain players don't. We all know
Right.
that most NBA stars are lazy. We know that. So you
Yeah.
got to have guys to fill in for that laziness, man.
hmm
You know what I'm saying?
I
So
agree. I
fortunately,
agree.
our star player on this team is not lazy.
Not
That's
at all.
for us. That's even better
Not at
for
all.
us.
I don't even think he knows that word exists, to be honest
Man,
with you.
what? You know what I'm
Nah.
saying? He'll defend
How he
you
came down.
just as good as he'll play offensively against you. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
So that's why we loved him so much when we got him. The
Yep.
other guy that was in that draft is just all offense.
Right.
And we'll see what happens with that situation, man, because you have certain teams that just can't figure out that you have to play defense. And the Rockets has just been one of them. That's
Ooh,
one
shots fired.
franchise. Yeah, that's just one of the franchises that just can't figure out you have to defend people.
Yeah.
So just as good as you can score, other teams can score too. You have to
Right.
stop. Somebody got to stop somebody.
Somebody has to. There you go.
You know what I'm saying?
Took the words out
So,
of my mouth. That's exactly it.
bro, you know what I'm saying? You had James Harden was over there scoring 8,000 points a game, and you still
Yeah.
couldn't get it done.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
just what it is, man.
And
So
even they had a PJ Tucker type of guy who was trying to, you know what I'm saying, who was trying to defend. So it's like you need that guy, man. You need multiple guys, in my
yeah,
opinion,
you
who at
got it
least can bring that intensity,
right.
bring that mindset that's going to translate to everybody else in the team, man. Sorry, man. I think he has all-star potential.
Yeah.
I think he has all-star potential. We
Hey,
talked about not needing it, but
Ben Simmons did. Ben Simmons ain't never been no 40% 3-point shooter.
yeah,
Yeah.
but up
Ben
here,
Simmons
that's
before
still.
retarded Ben Simmons. I'm talking about the all-star, lineal
Oh, okay,
all-star Ben
okay,
Simmons
okay,
before
okay.
this retarded dude showed up.
Man, I still don't know what happened with that, bro. That's man.
That is
I think it's what
mental
you said. It's lazy. It's like
lazy.
it's a laziness.
Yeah.
It's and that's a day as a number one pick, bro. Like that's scary to see that much talent from and to have that mindset and to go number one. That's yikes. But
Yeah.
no, yeah, I'm happy we won't have that issue with any of our guys in our team because all of our guys work, man. Guerin works, Stu works, Star works. Ivy, we know he works. He always in the gym. Monty said he can't. He might as well have his mailing address changed to the facility because
Yeah.
he's always up there. And then we
Yeah.
know K works. Deuce gonna work. So I'm excited, man.
Yeah.
Um,
It's hard to find a Piston that don't work on this team. Whether they're working on the wrong things, but they all work. They all work, man. I
yeah,
just want a solid, my big glaring hole with this team. I just want a solid big that can back up Durant because it's going to be nights where Durant get in foul trouble.
yeah.
And I don't want a big to go off on us while Durant's sitting there on the bench. I need
hmm
somebody solid enough to hold the fort down.
Yeah, yeah. Somebody said, "Would you come on, man?" Oh hell no! It ain't no way I'm trading for big. No, not doing that.
Okay, Mike Valeni, talking about trade for
Right.
Ben Simmons.
I'm not doing that.
This man
Not
was
doing that.
willing to give his career on the radio talking about Ben Simmons, man.
I remember.
That was terrible. You know what I'm saying?
I
No,
remember.
I don't want
All
him in a
right.
Pistons jersey, never.
Last one, bro. And then I know I said last one, but these are some good questions. Shout out to y'all, man. Y'all asking a lot of
Yeah.
great questions in this chat. I love it. How many wins you getting this year, bro?
Anywhere between 30 to 35 for me.
Okay.
That's
I think that's a
a true enough jump for me.
okay. 30. So give me a number because that's kind of you kind of cheating a little bit with that 30 to 35, bro. Come on, man. I need a number, bro.
I'll be nice. I'll give them 35.
Okay.
I'll give them
Okay.
35. because we
Okay.
weren't a 17 win game, or a 17 win team last season. We know
Yeah.
what last season was. You know
Right.
what I'm saying? So yeah,
Yeah.
35.
Okay. 35. I think that's pretty solid.
Yeah.
I think that's pretty solid. I would say 38. Rashad Walker's I'm gonna say 38. I'm gonna say 38. Um, and then we can end it with this. Yeah, I'm gonna say 38. I think if Kate played last year, we're at 30, possibly. Just if he played the whole season. So it's not like people saying, how are you gonna go from 17 to 35? Easy. That's what happens when your best player doesn't play. That's what happened. So it's not like if Kate played last year, we had 17 wins, then it's a different story.
40.
Then it's a little bit different. But him being out all year, we knew what it was. It was Wemby season. We knew that.
Y'all going.
Um,
Okay. All right. So
I think 40's. I think 40 is a little bit high. I think the max is 38 for me. I can't go. I can't go 40.
we
I
ain't
can't go
winning
40 because
games, bro.
that's a lot. A lot will need to go right to
This is
get 40 wins
this is
next
not
season.
Jim Ball. This is the NBA. You have to learn out there on the court. Do you all realize that these dudes have not played together at all?
Right.
It's going to be growing pains the first half of the season alone.
Mm-hmm.
Alone because of the chemistry that they're gonna have to build together. We
Right.
had 27 different lineups last season. We
Wow.
got to they
I didn't
gotta
realize it was that
learn.
many.
They gotta learn. So to put the fandom aside, sit the hat over there, and from a basketball aspect of realism, somewhere around 35, 38 wins is generous, but is realistic.
Right.
It's realistic.
Yeah. And let's not forget, man, Monty Williams can do a lot of damage in a short period of time.
Yeah.
We do know that. We have to acknowledge that. They went from not making the play in to getting to the finals or something crazy the very next year.
Right.
You know, the bubble season, they didn't even make the play in. Next year, they in the finals. So I'm not saying that's gonna happen.
Yeah,
But
the bubble season, that wasn't even a real season anyway.
man, don't start, bro. Don't
Uh,
start. I ain't got time
wasn't
to
real.
to, to school you skip baby style tonight on LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? I ain't got time. I ain't got time.
Right.
But no, I think I'm gonna say 38, bro. That may be a high, but I think the Pistons are gonna be that sleeper team. You call me biased, call me whatever you want. I know what my eyes are telling me. So
Yeah.
I think the second half of the season, take off. I really think we're gonna be that team that
It's gonna
nobody wants to
start to
see the
come in.
play in.
Yeah, it's gonna start to
Mhm.
come together.
Yep.
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 At first it's gonna be learning, then it's gonna start to come together. Guys gonna get
Yep.
used to it, get used to that grind every night, used to playing with each other, understanding what each other like, where they like to be. That's
Right.
what happens at.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So yeah, man.
And plus
Yeah.
Boyan will probably be gone. So
Exactly. Which is why he'll probably start this season to get his value up, like we talked about before, and then
yep.
make that move. So yeah. Yeah.
All makes sense.
It does, man. Anything else you kind of wanted to cover? I think we pretty much got to all of it. We got a lot of these questions answered too.
Yeah,
Good
absolutely.
questions, y'all. Yeah, this was
Yeah.
a good stream, man.
This
This was
definitely was a good stream, man. I man, we got to it. You know what I'm saying? Even
yeah.
got you to say LeBron got,
Hey,
got
man.
dogged a little.
He did, bro. I mean, they did. I ain't gonna say he did. They did. Hey, look, AD was getting. Hey, bro, AD was getting torched. AD
Yeah,
looked like he didn't even want to guard Jokic.
yep,
He was
yeah.
trying to. I
He was
saw
running from
him. I saw it in his eyes, bro. It wasn't. When I saw that, I knew it was over. I knew
Yep.
it was over in the first game. He was getting cooked.
Yep.
Before those crazy shots, before that,
Yep.
on the block, he was just getting abused, and I was like, yeah, this series is over. It's over.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, man, it's gonna be a fun season, bro. I'm looking forward to watching it with everybody, with y'all. Oh, I got a new song coming too, a new Kay Cunningham song. It's called Redemption. It's talking about what we talked about earlier. All that talk, all that yapping, in the words of Lonzo, you yapping, y'all, they yapping too much, man. They yapping too much. It's time for them to really understand what's going on. So look for that. Hopefully be ready by the season, but it's called Redemption, Kay Cunningham song. I'm coming hard with this one. King, you know how I get down, bro.
Yes, sir.
It's gonna be
Yes,
it's gonna be fun.
Give me
It's gonna
another
be fun.
banger to bang to work every day.
You already know, Brody. You already know, man.
For sure, man. So with that said, this has been a great stream. Man, listen, we got the debate coming, but we also we have some pretty interesting topics that we're going to talk about Also look for some very very good guests that we're getting ready to have on this show soon. So we got some things coming for y'all.
For sure.
So make sure you guys are following Downtown Deuce on social media just as much as YouTube. He puts tremendous shorts and clips out there, reels on Instagram, man, historic things, current things, whatever you can think of. And for the Lions fans in here, I'm trying to,
There
go
you
ahead
go.
and pull him on over. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I'm coming, bro. I'm coming, man. That's crazy. I've been a Lions fan for years, bro. I just never got into the content side of it. So now that want me to come over, bro, I'm gonna be watching y'all. I'm gonna following y'all lead, but eventually I'm gonna spread my wings a little bit and kind of do my thing over there. So I'm ready. I'm ready, bro. I'm ready for you.
Make sure y'all smash the like button on both these channels, man. And yeah, keep it locked, man. We'll see y'all soon.
Yes, sir. Appreciate y'all.
Peace.
Service, everybody.